Women's employment is essential for growth, productivity, and achieving Viksit Bharat goals. India aspires to become a developed country, Viksit Bharat, by 2047, yet youth unemployment is already double the rate of 2012. India, especially the government, may be forced to recognize the weakness of India's economy due to the West Asia war shock. However, weakness predates this exogenous shock. Policy induced shocks from 2016, demonetization, a poorly designed goods and service tax, NBFC's COVID 19 pandemic management to the economy had already reversed structural change, rise in farm employment, falling manufacturing share of gross value added, and in employment. Non farm job growth had slowed, the economy became more unequal, and hence aggregate demand collapsed, and with it, investment GDP ratio. So, GDP growth is much slower, even if government figures of 6.2 percentage per annum are believed. It is actually at best 4.5%, as the former chief economic advisor recently argued. An engine of growth. Further, India's growth story will remain incomplete without increasing the work participation rate (WPR) of half the population, that is women. In a new study, we estimate that a 10 percent point increase in India's female WPR could add nearly 2 percentage points to GDP growth, making women's employment one of the strongest drivers of economic growth. To sustain rapid growth of 8 to 9% and emerge as a global economic power, the nation must harness the immense potential of its youth, especially young women. Increased female WPR could contribute to economic growth in multiple ways. First, it increases the overall labor supply, thereby expanding productive capacity. When more women enter paid employment, household incomes rise, consumption increases, and savings improve. Higher household incomes also lead to a better nutrition, education, and healthcare for children, thereby strengthening long term human capital. Women's work participation can also improve productivity and innovation. Based on cross country evidence, Nobel laureate Claudia Golden argues that gender diverse workplaces are often more efficient, creative, and competitive. Including women in the workforce is not merely a welfare measure but also a strategy for enhancing national productivity. However, the work participation rate (WPR) of women in India remains below 30%, among the lowest in the world, comparable to that of countries such as Saudi Arabia and Yemen and West Asia. India's female labor force participation rate is low by international standards, even when compared with countries at similar levels of per capita income. Worse, it declined steadily between 1983 and 2018 as overall job growth in both the farm and non farm sectors fell between 2012 and 2018. How did women fare? This is a critical question, especially since women are now much better educated than earlier. Decline in women's work. In the 1980s and during the early 90s, the WPR for women was high, primarily due to high participation in agricultural activities. However, this trend began to decline as economic growth and structural reformation transformation led to a shift away from agriculture from 2024 to 5 to 2012. Many rural women withdrew from the workforce due to mechanism and reduced demand for manual labor. Fortunately, this period also saw a rise in educational attainment among young women, leading to increased school attendance. In other words, the Indian economy experienced a downward movement in female WPR in the first half of the U shaped curve until 2018-19, consistent with the argument of Claudia Golden. Much has been made by the government economist of the increase in women's work participation in India post 2020. However, this increase built upon a GDP growth slowdown since 2017. Further, COVID 19 had induced economic distress and large scale return migration from urban to rural areas. With male workers losing urban employment and moving back to the villages, women were compelled to intensify their role in subsistence, agriculture, and allied activities, often as unremunerated
Unremunerated.
unremunerated family labor. This surge in UFL reflected a distress driven feminization of agriculture as women entered or remained insecure, informal, and unremunerated agricultural work due to shrinking non farm opportunities and reinforced gender norms that limited mobility. The share of such work was falling from 1983 to 2012, as was the absolute number of women in such work. The collapse of non farm work for women and men now meant that adult, poorly educated women returned to agriculture. The structure of India's economic growth has now contributed to weak female employment generation. Much of India's recent GDP growth has been concentrated in capital intensive sectors such as finance, IT, and organized manufacturing, which do not absorb large number of workers. Labor intense sectors such as textile, Food processing, garments, and small scale manufacturing saw a fall in absolute terms in employment between 2013 and 19. In fact, fewer women were employed in manufacturing in 2019 than in 2004, which shows how manufacturing jobs collapsed despite all the hype about Make in India and performance linked incentives for manufacturing. It was not until 2022 that the manufacturing work for women rose to a level found in 2004. In much of India's manufacturing or women's work has not received sufficient policy support. The North South divide. We show that young girls' unemployment is much higher than for young men. However, there is a real North South divide as highlighted in the book India Out of Work. What is achievable is demonstrated by Tamil Nadu, which has been one of India's fastest growing states. More than 40% of India's women factory workers are employed in Tamil Nadu. This is remarkable given that Tamil Nadu accounts for only about 5 to 6% of India's population. This concentration is driven primarily by the state's strong presence in textiles and garments, especially in Tirupur and Coimbatore, footwear, electronics assembly, Sri Perambudur, and automobiles and auto components, as well as by higher female literacy, greater mobility, and well developed hostel and transport facility for women workers. Similarly, Hindi belt states need to invest in the health, not insurance based, and public education for all, especially for of girls and women, to reduce higher than African level malnutrition and stunting rates as the southern states have done. They can then also see similar outcomes. There is no chance for India being Viksit without gender equality in all dimensions, especially in North India. Some increase of female WPR who re entered agriculture across India since 2020 was due to older adult women engaging in animal husbandry and poultry farming and a welcome development for household incomes. However, what about educated young girls? The gross enrollment rate at the secondary level was universalized between 2010 and 14 with gender parity achieved even in rural Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. However, educated young women face high and rising unemployment rates. Worse, the number of young women aged 15 to 29 years who were neither looking for work nor in education was under 70 million under 2004. It increased to 84 million in 2012 and then rose to over 100 million by 2013. Bihar's female WPRs is only 15%. Hence, India will remain out of work and cannot become a developed country by excluding half of its population from productive employment.